Boker Tov, everyone, and welcome to DIY Judaism. This is Rabbi Dennis, and I'm here to share with you another common technique of Jewish life that everybody should learn. I welcome all of you, all you Samsons and all you Samsonettes who have yet to get a haircut. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks we can diminish our power once again, but right now we're at full-fledged awesomeness. But that's part of the pleasant experience of our period of time right now. So what I'm going to teach you is very simple. I'm going to expand it out just for a few minutes in order to talk about the Sefer Torah as an object. What I'm going to be teaching you is how to do a Hagbah. Hagbah is the Hebrew term for lifting the Torah. The person who does it is a Magbiah. A mem designation on a root word is often a sign that it is a noun. So you would be the Magbiah, and what you're doing is a Hagbah. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is draw attention to the things on the exterior of the Sefer Torah. Of course, one of the most interesting and striking objects we see is the Hoshen. Now, what's happening here is that we have borrowed or appropriated from ourselves the symbols and objects of the priesthood. In ancient times in the temple, the high priest would have worn a breastplate, and it had stones with the 12 tribes of Israel on it. This, however, is an adaptation of that. Since we no longer have an active priesthood, we have transferred the breastplate to the actual object of the Torah. What you always see on these is elaborate iconography. Most of this is inspired by, the Rococo period of Jewish design. But the most common things you will always see is a crown, representing the crown of Torah. You will see the two pillars that represented the pillars outside the temple, the 10 Commandments. And this one doesn't, but many of them do, include the totem of the Jewish people. So this is the Hoshen, and it is largely decorative. However, you can find some that actually have a little slide container down here. And into this little box, you will insert an inscribed plate which says what the Torah portion is that week, so that before you even unwrap everything, you can know what's there. We don't really use that anymore, so we don't need that. So it really is a decorative object. The next thing, also coming from the priesthood, but really a mixed metaphor, are these, the Rimonim. How is it a mixed metaphor? Well, first of all, from the priesthood, we have the bells. Again, the priests used to wear bells along the hem of their skirt as they wandered around the temple and did their duties. That too has been transferred now to the Torah, so that's where we have bells. On the other hand, the word rimon refers to a pomegranate, which refers to the original shape of these decorative objects. They look like a pomegranate. However, we've mixed our metaphors even further, and many of these rimonim now look like architecture. And if you can look closely at that, you will see that there are windows cut into this, as if this were a tower. So it's architectural, it's arboreal, it's priestly. All of these things get incorporated into the rimonim. An amusing side remark, the Hebrew word for a hand grenade is a rimon. So a stick grenade, basically, but that's just a little funny thing on this side. All of these are elaborately decorated for the purposes of Chadur HaMitzvah, to beautify any mitzvah that we do. Now, you will also find, not here at Kolami, but in other synagogues, instead of having rimonim, sometimes there will be an actual crown called a keter. It will fit over both of the spokes of the Torah, and it really is a crown. But we don't have one of those here. And of course, the most functional and useful of all objects is the yad. The yad means a hand. Most often it is literally illustrated on traditional yadayim, that they are hands. However, you can use any abstract pointer you want to do this. And this serves the very functional purpose that because the Torah is made out of parchment, this prevents us from transferring all the icky body oils that are on our fingers and hands to the surface. And so we maintain the text of the Sefer Torah. If we treat it properly, every Sefer Torah will last hundreds and hundreds of years. They will occasionally need maintenance to restore the letters, but the basic material should endure. It's made to last. In Hebrew, this is called a mail. We call it a skirt or a mantle, and it is the protective cover that is used to protect the Torah. This is an Ashkenazi custom. If you go to a Sephardic synagogue, you will encounter instead a very impressive box or sarcophagus that is cleverly designed with the Torah inserted into it, and you can open it up like a casket, and it becomes the Torah reading table. It's very clever, but we Ashkenazi Jews, we don't do that. And then the final thing to call your attention to here is the binder. We would say binder in English. Oftentimes it's called by the German Yiddish word a wimple. Technically a wimple ties rather than velcros, but I don't think this is really a precision business. So that brings us to the actual effort at hand, which is to lift the Torah. So this is what I tell everyone who's ever come and lifted a Torah at a bar or bat mitzvah but has never done it before. It's really pretty darn simple. So this is how it goes. The Torah itself is not a heavy object. I'm guessing this weighs 15 pounds, 20 pounds, maybe. Not difficult for most adults to lift. The trick of it is the center of gravity. Because it's so tall, it presents a challenge. And the challenge is getting it from this position to the vertical position. Once you get it in the vertical position, it's easy to hold on to. You've got all the center of gravity under your hand. And so the trick is, how do I get from here to there? And I will tell you Rabbi's standard for this. This is, we learned this from Osha. Never let it be said the Gentiles don't have wisdom. That what you do is you draw it down to the edge of the table, until you've got it about midway, so that you've created a fulcrum or a pivot point. And then in the best Osha tradition, bend at the knees, don't bend at the back, don't try and force it up by the force of your arms, but rotate it along the fulcrum into an almost vertical position and then lift. It's really much easier. Now, there will be some studly Jews out there who can do this with the power of their wrists. I'm not going to rely on my ability to do this. I find that this is a much safer way to do it, and this is the way I would encourage you to do it. So, bend at the knees, stay straight, down it goes, and up. And then, once you've done that, it's easy. Now all the weight is centered, and it's not a problem. Now, what you want to do, according to tradition, is open it up enough that you can see 3 columns. And then, because of the position we find ourselves in, we turn around and we display it. And we sing Vazot HaTorah, Asher Sham Moshe, that this is the Torah that came to us through the hand of Moses. And so we honor that. Then we sit down and we have the Golel, the person who dresses the Torah, complete the process with the Magbia. That's all it takes. Again, repeat and rinse. You pull it down to midway, use the ledge, bend at the knee, lift, and you're up. Now, are you feeling showy? Let's see if we can do the showy version of this. This gets a little scary, but there is a cool showy version of doing this. I'm going to reposition that text a little bit. And what you have to do, I'm so scared, is you cross your hands like this. All right? So, left hand on the right spindle and right hand on the left spindle, and you go down, you lift like that, and then you pull it apart, and lo and behold, the text is directed out to the congregation immediately. How cool is that? That's pretty cool. I don't generally like to do it myself because you know me, I'm clumsy, I inflict all kinds of injuries on myself, but certainly this is easy to do, and it's possible for anyone to do if they practice. So that is all that's required. Now, here at Congregation Kolami, what we tend to do is we tend to ask the person, once they've displayed it, to simply walk over and sit down. And from the sitting position, it's much easier to dress the Torah. So they would have it like this. They would walk over here and sit, and then the Golel will dress it while they're using their legs to support it. It's a very simple process once you've done that, and that's how you become a Magbia. So at your next bar or bat mitzvah that you're attending for your nephew, your niece, or your cousin, or your grandchild, ask if you can do this. It's really awesome. Now, people tend to perceive this as a strength issue, which it really isn't. So as a general rule, it seems men are the people who are selected or volunteer for this. I think that's a mistake. I've had plenty of women smaller than me by a long shot who have been able to lift and handle this Torah without any difficulty. So don't let the sexists get you down. If you would like to do this, I encourage you to do it. So that's our DIY Judaism for today. I wish you a wonderful week, and as always, I hope we get together again soon.